Refined, showing off Seattle's artistic side.
Yeah, this is coming on my 10th year right now, and I've done 222 in Seattle.
Meet the local artists making Seattle one of the most creative cities in the world. Plus,
I woke up and my phone had like 900 notifications, and that's not even an exaggeration. And I was like, what happened while I was sleeping?
turning passion into profit. The social media moment that changed this woman's life. And edible art.
So now we have our sheeted pasta, and we can kind of turn it into anything we want to right here.
The creative cuisine that turned into tons of possibilities for a local mom. Seattle Refined starts now. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gert Swanson. Today we are celebrating the creative minds in the Emerald City. Seattle is home to many artists, and today we're showcasing just a small fraction of the incredible talent out there. First up, a rags to riches story. In just a matter of years, this Seattle artist has gone from barely scraping by to barely keeping up with demand.
I get hounded for these daily.
Katie Marks is living an artist's dream in this Seattle studio.
This is how I start everything.
She has managed to turn her passion into profit.
I've been working with clay pretty much my whole life. Like, it was just my thing when I was a kid. I get a lot of attention from my crystal pieces. Well, last summer, I did these really fun wall sculptures that looked like ice cream cones.
Her small business, Silver Lining Ceramics, has exploded online. People are freaking out over her shiny artwork that includes pipes and mugs, some that are geologically inspired.
The background is inspired by fluorite. This is my version of vanadinite, and this is quartz. And I spent probably a good 12 hours sculpting this. I ship pieces to England and Canada and Australia and Russia and Vietnam and Japan and Korea, and it's crazy, it's everywhere.
To say business has been good would be an understatement, but things recently launched into another galaxy when Star Trek's George Takei shared Katie's products on Facebook.
I woke up and my phone had like 900 notifications, and that's not even an exaggeration, and I was like, what happened while I was sleeping? And I think in the span of like 3 days I got 12,000 new followers, and it was crazy. I made 101 pieces and they were sold out in less than 5 minutes.
Katie is humbled and still shocked by all the success. She never dreamed this could happen.
I suck at having normal jobs, like real bad. So I've gotten fired from like every job I've ever had. I was on food stamps living on about $900 a month. I was living in Belltown in a little studio apartment right on 5th and Blanchard. And I got a wheel on Craigslist and I set it up on the floor of my studio apartment, and I watched YouTube videos and taught myself how to throw. Just trial and error.
That trial and error has paid off big time for Katie.
I think I've just really like tapped into an untapped part of the handmade community. I can't keep up with demand on anything at this point. But that I probably get around 30 emails a day of people asking me how they can order. No pre-orders. If I put out a wait list right now, I think I would be making unicorn pipes for the rest of the year without any sign of it slowing down. And I don't want to do that. Oh my God, it's crazy. I'm so shocked. It's like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, pinch me. Do I really get to just go play with clay every day? This is freaking awesome.
You can buy Katie's artwork on Etsy. To learn more, head to SeattleRefined.com. Now another Seattle artist whose unusual technique makes her a cut above the rest. Whitney Anderson creates mosaic masterpieces with just a pair of scissors, magazines, and a glue stick. She snips these glossy pages into small squares to make an incredible collage. Whitney has always loved art, but she discovered her passion collages by accident.
And I didn't have my paints with me. And it's like, well, there's a big stack of magazines over here and some paper, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna try something new. So I have a large series of horse collages, orcas, they're my favorite sea animal, some pink elephants thrown in there.
Whitney spends 50 to 60 hours on each piece. To learn about her art, head to SeattleRefined.com. You can't talk about Seattle artists and not bring up Henry. If you don't know the name, you're most likely going to know his work. Here's Refined's Malia Karlinski.
Just about everywhere you look around Seattle, there are big, bright murals beautifying the city. A giant goldfish greets you on Nicholson. There's a fox at Flatstick Pub. And athletic animals grace the walls of Adams Elementary School.
I'm gonna change this guy full color. I'm gonna make him orange.
They're all from the imagination of Henry the artist. His work was actually hanging in a gallery when the cook next door proposed a deal.
The cook who was at the restaurant asked me if I could do some murals to cover up some stuff on their walls. And I said, yeah, and he traded me for food and a beer tab.
That was just the beginning.
Yeah, this is coming on my 10th year right now, and I've done 222 in Seattle.
Henry handed his spray paint can to Seattle Refine and gave us a few pointers on making a mural.
Is that too light?
No, that's great.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So then you can go right back over the top of it.
This is really fun.
Yeah.
I can see why you like this.
Yeah, spray paint's a lot of fun. It brings out that little, the little kid in you, you know?
In garages and by swimming pools, on doors and buildings. The city is this artist's canvas, and he gets commissions to paint it.
And there's so much public art in the world that doesn't appeal towards a good majority of the public. But I want to make public art that to me, I consider a 5-year-old a part of the public. I think my art talks to them, you know, communicates to them. They see it and they can have a relationship with it, and it can change how they perceive the world they live in.
His whimsical work is where Dr. Seuss meets Picasso.
Do you see all this in your head before you put it on your canvas?
I have a very visual imagination, so I see a lot in my mind in a very visual way. When I close my eyes, it's very... there's a world I see, and I pull these things from that world.
There's something so happy about his art. But Henry's colorful world went dark after the death of his brother.
And when someone that close to you dies, there's this emptiness in you, you know, that I'd never really felt. And I feel like doing my art and public art and things like that would kind of help kind of heal that process. I have this sense that he's here and watching me from a different realm, and what would make him proud and excited and stoked, oh wow, my brother's doing it.
Impacted by a heartbreaking loss, but still full of love, murals may be the only medium big enough for this larger-than-life artist.
I have this urge to express my love to the world. It's an inherent urge in me to give out and express love, and you know, I think my murals are a really good medium for doing that.
To check out Henry's work, head to SeattleRefine.com. The artistic moments don't stop there.
And then this one right here, this is Jareth, the Goblin King from Labyrinth, one of my favorite movies growing up. And obviously, David Bowie.
Look closely. There's more than meets the eye to these incredible portraits. Plus,
do you come up with these designs, or does the manhole kind of tell you what it wants?
Meet the local artist definitely on the road to greatness. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. Today we're taking time to appreciate some of the local artists and works of art in Seattle. And this next story takes priceless works of art to a whole new level. This is Artful Ashes, where artists shape molten glass into one-of-a-kind keepsakes. Co-founder Greg Dale says each one of these vibrant shapes contains the ashes of someone's loved one.
It seems like everything else that I've ever heard of for options make you sad, and I just started thinking about there's got to be something out there that can help you feel a little bit better about losing a loved one, and I came up with this idea of putting ashes into glass hearts, and we've been making now for about 5 years.
Greg says his crew makes about 11,000 memorials a year, and yes, they do pets. Well, some art is meaningful and touching, some art is downright seedy. That brings us to our next artist. She creates masterpieces that require both patience and pods. From far away, these pieces look like normal works of art. But look closer. There's more than meets the eye.
Well, when you see it up close, it's just wow.
Becky Hoover doesn't need a fancy studio to unleash her creativity. She creates unique artwork every day from her West Seattle bedroom.
Well, this is seed art, crop art is what it's called.
Instead of paint and brushes, she just needs a toothpick, seeds, and a lot of patience.
And I pick up a little seed and I lay it down. And then I have some pieces that can take up to 50 hours for the bigger ones. Well, we've got yellow split peas here. We've got sunflower seeds. This is bright green jade rice. I forage for a lot of it, and if you see me in your yard in West Seattle, I'm taking your seeds.
Becky first learned about the craft at an art show 2 years ago. It's gone from a hobby to a passion that's now paying off.
This kind of just started as a selfish thing that I made pieces for myself. And I just started posting pictures and people asked to buy them. So that kind of gave me the idea, maybe I should put these up on my Etsy store too. The biggest commission I think I got so far is $350 per piece. This is the first piece I ever did. You can tell because the seeds are big. And then this one right here, this is Jareth, the Goblin King from Labyrinth, one of my favorite movies growing up. And obviously David Bowie with lots of pine needles on his head. And then this is my personal favorite piece. This is a snake I did, and he's got sunflower seed scales.
Seed art is pretty unique in the Northwest. It's more of a Midwest tradition. At first, Becky didn't know why she was drawn to it so much, but quickly learned it's in her blood.
So I was doing my seed art and loving it, and then I went to visit my sister in San Francisco, and I saw these 2 pieces of art on her wall. So I asked about these 2 paintings that my sister had of gravel art, and she said that my grandpa had made them. And so for me, that was just, it all clicked right then. I'm like, wow, this runs in the family, this need to do tiny, tedious, obsessive little things. So I came home immediately and recreated those gravel art pieces, and I have them hanging proudly over my bed.
These pieces are more than just a labor of love for Becky. It's also helping her live a better life.
Well, my whole adult life, I've kind of gone back and forth struggling with sobriety, and it's been a huge driving force to have goals and to have, something to fill my time with something good and positive. It's very therapeutic for me to do this, to really dig in and focus, and I think about it more than I think about drinking. So when I have a piece going, it's a lot easier for me to stay clean and sober. Oh, it's absolutely the best high I could imagine. It's wonderful. I can't describe the feeling when you're in the zone and it's clicked in and you're just going for it, and I can sit there for 5-6 hours without a break. It's my me time and I love it. It's euphoric. I love the feeling.
To learn more about Becky's seed art, all you have to do is head to SeattleRefined.com. Coming up, she may be one of the biggest artistic names in Seattle right now. Meet Linda, the Pasta Lady. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gart Swanson. Today we're taking a look at Seattle's unique art scene. And when it comes to a blank canvas, this next artist can't keep his mind out of the sewer. Here's Refined's John Prentice.
Sometimes it seems Seattle is painted in shades of gray. Gray skies above us, gray streets surround us. It's easy to miss the beauty below us, art right beneath our feet. Russell Mewitz brings a splash of color to these underappreciated pieces that just happen to be underfoot. He sees the splendor in manhole covers and celebrates it, capturing their imprints with ink and canvas. He says the obsession started 7 years ago.
I was working on, I think, 4th and University. There's a really amazing cover right there on the corner. There are definitely designs that are kind of like universal and have withstood the region and the test of time, but each city and kind of has their own symbols and marks. Seattle, Portland, Maine, Boston, New York. I'm trying to get one, at least one from every state. Probably have about 400 unique prints.
So do you come up with these designs, or does the manhole kind of tell you what it wants?
Yeah, I like that. The manhole tells me.
No matter where the ideas come from, the designs are striking. Passers-by stopping in their tracks.
Walked by it 1,000 times in the last few weeks, and I never once noticed it until now. I think it's really cool.
Just fascinating. It's like taking something that we see every day and turning it into art.
And what's cool about making the prints is you really never know what you're gonna get. Like Bob Ross said, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents, right?
And if Russell gets stuck, he asks for help from whoever happens to be walking by.
Excuse me, question for you. Do you have a second? I want to ask you what color you think I should make the center of this.
I was going with orange.
Orange?
Right, yeah.
All right, buddy, thanks. I hope he's right.
Now, with the metal manhole cover transformed by happy hues, it's time to make the print.
Once you put the canvas down, there's no going back. All right. This is where you get to feel all the fonts and the individual letters and the markings, and it's kind of my favorite part.
And then, the moment of truth.
Wow. Ah, yes, I love it.
The environmentally friendly ink will wash away in the next rain.
Bittersweet, I guess.
But the imprint will last forever, on canvas and in Russell's heart.
I was thinking this morning that one of the most satisfying parts is people say all the time, hey, I never noticed that. Once you start looking, it's like you can't stop.
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
To learn more about that story or watch it again, log on to SeattleRefined.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Garth Swanson. You know, for the last half hour, we've been showcasing some of the most creative minds in Seattle. And our last artist is probably the most well-known out of the bunch. And her art is edible.
You know, it's creative writing, and it's art, and it's fashion, and it's, you know, a little bit of kind of healthy living thrown in.
Linda Miller Nicholson has a unique pasta passion that is gaining global attention. The wife and mother's colorful creations have attracted nearly 25,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, I think social media has been a really neat tool just to be able to kind of test the waters of what people respond to and what people are really excited by. One time I did these models that I had made on, they're all wearing like beautiful dresses, and they were on these caramelle pasta. And then I thought to myself after I made them, wait, they're all like just like boring skinny white girls. And so a week later, I made a different iteration of it where I used, you know, more realistic body types and different like colors, you know.
Of course, we had to find out how Linda does it. We headed to her Preston home where the pasta magic happens.
Because this whole thing started with me trying to find a way for my son, my then picky son, to eat more vegetables. And now he eats every color under the rainbow. Granted, it looks like Play-Doh, but hey, there's nutrients in there somewhere. This is edamame. This is green peas. This is moringa leaf. This is kale, and this is parsley. A lot of times people wonder if I get these colors using food dye, and I'm gonna show you when we make our red today, our fire engine red. So we are going to make some red pasta dough today, which I make from beets and paprika. We have this base sheet of pasta here that's gonna sort of act like our glue, our structure, if you will. So this is just a striped pattern, and the green is my very favorite. The green is the parsley. Parsley has this like electric quality. Now we have Pasta Road. Yellow Brick Road has nothing on this. So now we have our sheet of pasta, and we can kind of turn it into anything we want to right here. So this is our final version of our 3 different types of festive pasta, all made with vegetables and super healthy ingredients.
As you can see, art is in Linda's blood, but her passion will always be pasta.
Like, I feel like I, for the first time in my life, can say that I am doing what I wanted to do when I grow up, even though I didn't know when I was growing up that this is what I want to do.
Linda has a new book out called Pasta, Pretty Please. It's in stores right now. If you're a Seattle artist or know one of them that we have to meet, please tell us about them. SeattleRefined.com profiles artists weekly. To nominate someone, email us at hello@SeattleRefined.com. You can also check out our artist profiles on our website. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Garth Swanson. Thanks to all the artists we showcased today, and thank you for joining us here on Seattle Refined. We'll see you next time.